Peace. This is King Noble, Black Supremacy. And with this particular video, I want to talk about what is true financial freedom. I really want to go in on this subject. What is financial freedom? Because a lot of people's talking about it. I want financial freedom. A lot of people marketing this idea to you. Do you want financial freedom? Or they have some product or some marketing strategy to help you achieve financial freedom. So let's look at it. What is financial freedom? We're putting two words together. Financial and a very important word, freedom. Do they even go together? In one sense, I want to say that there is no such thing as financial freedom. As long as they control the financial system, the banking system, their faces on the currency, and it ultimately, if you add all the money up together and how it is being utilized and spent, it's maintaining the system of white supremacy, their institutionalized framework, that freedom cannot be achieved through finances. But you could have financial freedom, but you won't achieve freedom. You won't achieve black liberation through finances. That's not the end game of the financial system. That's not the end game of the game of financing. So we know you'll never achieve financial freedom in that sense. And as long as that you're dealing with financing, which is their construct, their banking matrix, you're always going to have to be somehow accountable to them. You're always going to have to be connected to what they got going on. You're going to be tied into their system with any type of financing you do. Financing alone uses their system of banking. There's no such thing as financing outside of their system. So financial freedom is not going to happen in that sense, that you're going to find freedom in financing. You will not find freedom in any kind of financing. So let's just be clear on that. Financing is a contractual agreement between you and the banking system. It's a conscious choice to go along with the way they process revenue and the way they allow resources to be disseminated or distributed. Now, so that couldn't be financial freedom. Financial freedom would be freedom from finances. That would define finance. That's the only financial freedom that you would obtain in their system or dealing with their system is freedom from financing, where you don't have to deal with money no more at all. You don't have to deal with an accountability to them. You don't have to deal with their banking system. You don't have to deal with the federal government, which controls financing. You don't have to deal with that at all. That would be freedom from finances. And that would be financial freedom. But with this video, I want to give you a different concept of financial freedom. And it's not attaining freedom through financing. That if you get $1 million, $1 billion, you're not going to be free. So I'm not going to talk about that in this video. And most people would like you to believe that if you had just had so much money, that you actually would be free. And we know that's not true. Because we see millionaires and billionaires that are not free and that have not attained freedom. They constantly in court, they constantly being sued, it's like they just have a job on a different level. They just have a lot more money to go along with the obligations that they have to conform or comply with the overall financial system and the institutions of white supremacy. They just have more money for that obligation. Some of us have obligations and we just have less money for those obligations. We work 9 to 5, we work double shifts, 7 days a week, 6 days a week, and we may make less money for the obligations that we have. You get $1 million, $1 billion, you still have the obligations, you just get more money for it. You won't be free from having obligations to be connected to the system, to be caught up in the system. that you can be rich and caught up in the system. Let's be clear on this. You can be in court every day. You can need this lawyer, sit down with this lawyer, talk to that lawyer. Your whole schedule can be booked, and you have $1 million. You have $1 billion. You have billions of dollars. So you're not going to attain freedom through how much money you may ever gain. So let's just remove that. But you can still have something that's called financial freedom. And what financial freedom really looks like is being free to do what you want to do with your finances. Meaning that a lot of people make a lot of money, they have money, but they're not free to do what they want to do or what they would do with their finances. They say, I want to support a good cause. I want to give my money to something that is going to really advance the quest for freedom. Is really going to help develop freedom. Because finance can go into the development of personal freedom, collective freedom, and community freedom. Some finance can go into it, but the freedom won't be reflective of some financial goal or some financial quota. However, finances can go into freedom. By just looking at that, you say you want to travel the world, you got more gas, you will probably have a little bit more freedom because you have the money to pay for the gas to travel or the plane fare or whatever. Does that mean the countries are going to let you in? No. That means that you're not going to have some restrictions, that you're not going to experience discrimination, racism, systematic injustice. No. So we do agree that finances can be an ingredient in experiencing greater personal freedom. That there is some finances an ingredient. Not the main ingredient though. So with financial freedom, it should be the freedom to do what you want with your finances. And I think that's really what people are saying when they talk about financial freedom. It's like, I want to be able to take a vacation. Well, you've been had the money to take a vacation. You just wasn't free to do that with your finances because you had all these bills that you had to pay and your money spent before you get it. You got to keep up with the Joneses in this or that way, and you have all these. I mean, you're a slave with what you have to do with your finances. It's like society demands you to take what you make and pay them. You think you're just paying taxes, but you're being forced as to what to do with your money from the point that you get it to the point that you no longer have it. To the point if you even just sit your money in the bank, you're forced to spend it. The bank is taking your money. You're forced to do something with your money. If you leave it in your house, you're forced to get a treasury box, a safe, because somebody's gonna break in your house and steal it. You're forced to do something with your money. So you don't really you're not free with your finances. But when you become more free as a human being, as you attain more real freedom with all of the ingredients that make up freedom, and I'll talk about that in another video, then those other ingredients make it easier for you to be freer with your finance. As to what you can do with your finances. Not about how much finance you have. Because you got a lot of billionaires out there. It's like, why they can't save the community? Why they can't donate to good causes? Why they can't support the revolution? Why they can't put money into militancy and money into resistance against white supremacy and oppression? Why they can't put money into that? Because they're not financially free. Even though they're millionaires. They're not free to do what they want with their finances. So if you're not free, then you're not going to be financially free. Now that's a twist, because a lot of people think that, hey, I need financial freedom. If I had more money, I could do what I want to do. No. It's a lot of people that got more money than you do and have less freedom to do with their money than you do. So you can be have less money than someone else and be more you can have less money than someone who is richer than you, but you could be more financially free than them. I'm gonna let you swallow that. I'm gonna let you deliberate on that. So financial freedom is the freedom to do what you want to do with your money. And that shows that you're breaking out. See, you don't even have Facebook freedom. You can't post what you want to post. You got 5,000 followers on there, but you don't have Facebook freedom. You don't have financial freedom. You don't have internet freedom. You don't have, there's so many aspects and dimensions of freedom that you don't have. So how you going to have financial freedom? Free to do what you want to do with your money. If you say, look, I want to support this. Man, forget this. So to have financial freedom, you have to have freedom over your mind. You have to have freedom over your time. You would have to have freedom over your own consciousness. You have freedom